हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जाए, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Vishnu Padaya. Padaya, Krishna Prasthaya, Bhutale, Srimate, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamane, Ste Saraswati, Gauravani, Prachari, Nirvishesha, Sunyavadi, Paschatya Deshatharine. Mahavadanya, Krishna Prema Pradaya, Krishna, Krishna Prema. So we'll quickly get on to the subject. I don't know how much you all can tolerate, but it's going to be a slightly longish class today. As I said, there's no need for time for announcements, because main announcement is that Janmashtami is coming. Everybody should serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, the subject matter is prayers by the demigods or the devatas for the Lord to advent in the material world and bless all of us with bhakti, right? So first we'll discuss something about the background for the prayers, and then we'll discuss the different types of prayers and what are the sections of the prayers that the demigods offered to the womb of Devaki. Yeah. So we'll read the chapter number 10th canto, chapter number 2, sloka number 16, which says, Bhagavan api vishvatma bhaktanam abhayan karaha avivesha amsa bhagena mana anaka dundubihi. Anaka Dundubi is, who is the personality? Anaka Dundubi? Vasudev, yeah. So we'll just quickly read the translation without repetition. I don't know how much we can talk in about 30 minutes. That's the, yeah. Thus the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the super soul of all living entities and who vanquishes all the fear of his devotees, entered the mind of Vasudeva in full opulence. Okay? So Krishna did not manifest himself like we have birth of so many children in the material world. He entered the mind of Vasudeva. We'll not read the purport for lack of time. We'll get on to the subject matter as quickly as possible. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead, once he enters the minds of devotees, what happens? All the fear is completely vanquished, and therefore all the fear of Vasudeva, of Kamsa and the other demons was completely vanquished when he entered the minds of the devotee Vasudeva in this case. So the word Vishwatma is used. Vishwatma is a person, one who is situated in the heart of devotee, and he is the only object for our worship. Okay? So that is the thing. So carrying the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the hearts of Vasudev. What did he do with that? Vasudev, first of all, became as effulgent as the sun. Yeah, it must have given so much of fear for Kamsa to see that kind of effulgence. That kind of effulgence is very attractive to the devotees, but it's instills fear in the minds and hearts of the asuras. Yeah, and Kamsa was the biggest of that time. So therefore, fear was instilled in them. We cannot approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead through our sensory perception. And since Vasudev was carrying the Supreme Personality of Godhead who had manifested in his heart, even Vasudev became unapproachable and unperceivable, even for such formidable people like Kamsa. Yeah. So Dhama, we say, is the place where the Lord resides. So Vasudev's heart and the core of his heart was nothing short of a Dhama. Dhama means when the residing place of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then this Dhama, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead who was in the heart of Vasudeva, was transferred to the heart of Devaki. Okay, so it was just a transfer of the heart, which made Devaki very, very supremely, transcendently beautiful and effulgent as well. Because the Lord is going to advent in his Sat Aishwarya Purna. He is going to advent to the material world. As Parashar Muni says, Aishwaryasya Samagrasya Viryasya Yashasa Shriya Jnana Vairagyayoscheva Sannam Bhaga Itin Gana. So these are the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A person who has all wealth, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation. The six opulences in full is what the Lord carries along with him. So, until this happened, Kamsa was busy persecuting the kings of the Yadu dynasty, and under the protection of so many demons like Jarasandha, Pralamba, Baka, Chanura, Mushtika, Agasura, Putana. We have heard all these pastimes of the demons and their asuric qualities, right? So to such an extent that the kings have started moving to other areas like the Vishalas and the Koshala places. So here one important thing has to be registered in our mind. So Krishna was born from the womb of Devaki through the process of spiritual initiation. Okay, it was from the minds of Vasudeva to the minds of Devaki. Okay, so this gives us the importance of the spiritual master, where the spiritual master is a person who can instill instructions and teachings to you, where the Lord can reside in your heart. We become pure devotees, and therefore it's like establishing Dhamma in your heart, or a residing place in your hearts. The Lord is always present in every living entity as Paramatma within your hearts, but as non-practicing devotees or other living entities in the 8,400,000 species of life, we are not conscious of it. So when the spiritual master instills this, and it establishes Sri Krishna in the hearts of devotees, and we become non-different from a Dhamma because of the presence of the Lord in our hearts. Okay, and then we all know that the 6 children were killed. They were originally the sons of Marichi, and they were cursed by the Brahmanas, obliged to take birth. Yeah. So When the Brahmanas and the sages give a curse, it turns out to be a blessing. Because what happens to the sons of Marichi who are reborn in the womb of Devaki? So therefore, the curse of Brahmanas were a blessing because they immediately got freedom from material desires and they went back to better situation in their life to serve the Lord eternally. So we should never curse the Brahmanas. We should never think that the Brahmanas and pure sages curse us. Why did they curse? Their curse becomes a blessing. So it is, they went back to their original place after Kamsa killed his nephews without any hesitation. So the Lord, even before birth, already had ordered Yogamaya to transfer the plenary portion of Sankarshan, who was the seventh child, in the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. Yeah. So Balaram, we all know, is the first expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who supports the entire universe. And Rohini is the eternal mother of Balaram. Now we talked about Marichi's 6 sons, and Jugal Kishore Prabhu was saying, what do we have to learn from the Asuras and the Asuric Bhava, right? The Srila Prabhupada writes in his purports in the 10th canto how the 6 sons of Marichi who were killed were none other the manifestation of the 6 viruses that we all carry, and we carry these viruses, and that is why we are in the material world. What are those viruses? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mad, and Matsarya. So the 6 viruses are lust, which is Kama, Krodha, which is anger, Lobha, which is greed, and I make my points in English sometimes. So Moha is illusion, we all know, and then Mad, M-A-D, it is translated. It is written in English, right? It is really a perfect translation in English, even though English is a language of limitations. So it is complete madness, right? Caused by Kama, Krodha, Lobha, and Moha. And Matsarya is the aspect of envy. Envy is very, very difficult to conquer. And envy is the primary reason why we are all in this material world. We are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When I was celebrating my 50th birthday, devotees had come to my home. That was a decade ago. And there everybody was saying, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, So then they asked me to talk for a while. Then I said that 50 years back today, I confirmed that I am envious of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And here I am, suffering in the material world, and I request all the devotees to bless me so that I attain perfection in this lifetime and go back home, back to Godhead. So we said the Marichi's 6 sons are representing the 6 viruses in our system, which we have to get rid of. And then we have another personality, Devaki. Devaki represents Bhakti because she had conquered these 6 viruses. Naturally, Bhakti has manifested in her heart, and in her heart, in the core, and everywhere, because she was nothing short of the Dhamma. Dhamma includes the name, form, features, a resting place, qualities, pastimes, everything is included in the Dhamma. So therefore, and Kamsa is the manifestation of material fear that we all have, right? Anybody can say that they are fearless? That's only Abhay Charana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, right? All of us are attempting Abhaya, to become Abhaya, or without material fear of any kind. So Devaki here, it's not that we are actually speaking fearful of Kamsa, right? Kamsa is the manifestation of material fear, So Devaki's transcendental fear was that she was always alert in the fear of material association, right? She was very alert in this aspect. So we should all be alert that material desires do not attack us. So we should be very fearful of material association as practicing devotees, right? And then this alertness against material association, gives the transcendental fear to Devaki. It's not just fear, it's a transcendental fear. And that fear leads to purification of the hearts of all of us, right? If we have transcendental fear. So, and then Krishna's preparation continues. He blesses Yogamaya will appear as the daughter of Mother Yashoda. You will be worshipped in different places with different names. That was the blessing given by Krishna to Yogamaya. And she may be called Durga somewhere, Bhadrakali somewhere, Vijaya somewhere, Shanta, Sharada somewhere, Ambika somewhere, Chandika, Kanyaka, and Maya and Narayani. These are the different names and many more in which you will be worshipped in different parts of the universe, and everybody will worship you. Yeah, so that's why we have this transcendental competition between Shaktas and Vaishnavas. Okay, but let's see how this argument is. People say that I am a Shakta follower. Everybody in the material universe worships the Shaktas, and therefore that is the right form of worship. But what are the mentality of the Shaktas and the Vaishnavas? The Shaktas worship for the simple reason of material enjoyment, right? They always want material enjoyment, and therefore they are worshipping the different forms of Yogamaya which is worship of the material energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So she is worshipped as Vaishnavi, as Durga in Varanasi, right? So everywhere she has her foot, and everyone worship the Shakta or the material energy of the Lord. What do the Vaishnavas do? We don't worship Shakta? We do. Yeah, any answers for that? So we are seekers of spiritual salvation, right? We don't want to continue in this terrible material world. Just go back to Godhead and serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Srila Prabhupada has given us such a perfect formula for it. Yeah. So from now on, don't ever say, Prabhu, I am left to take hundreds of lifetimes, that kind of thing. But have the confidence that the perfect technology is given by Srila Prabhupada, and we have to make it in this very lifetime. Okay? So since we are seekers of spiritual salvation, what do? The Vaishnavas also pray to Shakta, but from a different perspective. We worship Radha Krishna, yeah? So we worship Sita Ram, we worship Lakshmi Narasimha, we worship Rukmini Dwarakadish, yeah? So he gives her a blessing that you will be worshipped everywhere, and you will become the daughter of Mother Yashoda, and then he also gives a confirmation. I shall then appear as son of Devaki with my 6 opulences which we discussed a little before. So Yogamaya accepted the instructions of the Supreme Lord, and she went to Rohini's house. And there were 2 things happening at the same time. The transfer of the womb from Devaki to Rohini was happening. So both of them were getting the symptoms of miscarriage. So everybody was lamenting, oh my God, Devaki has lost her child. But Rohini was approached by Yogamaya, and she gave a confirmation that nothing to worry. It's just a transfer of the womb, and Balaram, Balabhadra, Shankarshan, is appearing in your womb. Yeah. So at the sight of his sister losing her pregnancy is what everybody thought. Even Kamsa momentarily became a little, merciful towards Devaki. Yeah? So all of us have that Krishna consciousness with us. It's just waiting to be awakened by the mercy of devotees and the people who are following the parampara. So then that was done, and then the eighth son was about to appear, and Kamsa became absolutely fearful. Yeah, the fear personified, if we may say, is Krishna, but in this context we can say that he instills material fear in everyone. So Kamsa was actually very, very fearful at the thought of being killed by the eighth son of Devaki, Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And even he contemplated on killing Devaki, his own sister. Then the thought process came, yeah, where the Shastras tell us that the reputation, opulence, and the duration of life gets completely reduced if you kill a Brahmana, if you kill a cow, if you kill a child, or you kill an old man. So this came to his mind, and he withdrew from his desire to kill his own sister, because he knows from the standpoint of the Shastras that if he does this, he will go to Andatma. Andatma is nothing but hell, where he will have to suffer the consequences of killing these kind of people who are helpless in nature in one sense. So it's not that. What do we have to learn from here? We have to learn that even asuras may have knowledge of the Vedas. Yeah? So devotees have knowledge of the Vedas. We study the Srimad Bhagavatam every day. We watch movie of Nrsimhadev. Yeah? So we do all that. So, but even asuras have a severe knowledge of the Vedas, good knowledge of the Vedas. But how do they utilize it? It's all in the mentality of the asuras, which disturbs them, and they are finally finished. Rupa Goswami's definition of bhakti, anya vilashita sunyam, jnana karmadi anavrutam, anukulyena krishna anushilanam bhakti uttama. So what is the topmost form of bhakti? Which is anya avilashita sunyam. All avilash, finished, only spiritual abhishas. Bhakta sangha diyobas, ye abhilas, guru seva diyobas, e abhilas, Vrindavana diyobas, e abhilas, Radha kunda diyobas, e abhilas. We just sang that. So therefore that is the spiritual abhilasha of a devotee. So anya abhilashita sunyam, jnana karmadi anavritam. Even the process of jnana, karma, everything finished, yeah? And then serve the Lord how? Anukulyena Krishna anusilanam. Yeah? In a way that is favorable to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we serve the Lord, right? So that is Bhakti Uttama. Yeah? It is the topmost form of bhakti, a very definition of bhakti. So this verse should be known to all of us because we are Rupanugas, we are followers of Rupa Goswami, who has propounded this wonderful philosophy and presented it in a way that is making the whole world have exposure to this wonderful Hare Krishna movement. So here, in one sense, Kamsa was also very Krishna consciousness. When he was eating, sleeping, doing anything, he was all the time thinking of Krishna. Yeah? But it is not anukulyena Krishnanu Shilanam. So that's the difference. So seeing Devaki so jubilant, and he got very scared. The manifestation of the demonly qualities and fear overtook him itself, and it started troubling him, the aspect of fear. So that also gives us an indication of the purpose of Krishna's visit to the material planet. Yeah, manifestation in the material planet. What are those two verses? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharataha abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. So whenever there is a decline of religion and a predominant rise of irreligion, I will descend myself. Krishna makes this promise. Yeah, that's a vow Krishna has made for the benefit of all of us. And then when he comes down to the material planet, what does he do? What are the activities of Krishna? Paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya chatushkritam, dharma samsthapanarthaya, sambhavami yuge yuge. So what is that? First, what does he do? Paritranaya sadhunam, he protects the devotees. Vinashaya chatushkritam, he destroys the miscreants. And then he also does dharma samstharpa narthaya. Yeah, re-establishes the principles of religion. So that is what he does. And to do that, he appears millennium after millennium in various incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So then, since the Lord was about to advent, then all the devatas, led by none other than Brahma and Lord Shiva, yeah, and even Vishnu, who is non-different from Krishna, and the sages and the devatas, everybody came to the prison house of Devaki, yeah, to do what? To first have darshan of the Dhamma of the Lord residing in the womb of Devaki, yeah, and also offer prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, I think it's from verse number 26. There are about 4 to 5 verses which describe the position of the Lord. That is the prayer that they had. What is the position of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Then, the second 4 or 5 verses, towards the end of the second chapter, actually is explaining the glory of taking shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is something which we know already, yeah? We have been reading Shastras, etc. But what is relevant to us to perfect in our spiritual life is to know the glories of this, shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. So that becomes the most important prayer for all of us. And then finally, the glories of the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is described in the second chapter of the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, I wanted to read the verse number 26. We'll still do that. Yeah. No announcements today. Okay. Hare Krishna. So the verse number 26 is Satya Vratam, Satya Param, Tri Satyam. Satyasya yonim nihitam cha satye. Satyasya sadam rita satya netram satya maham tvam sharanam prapanna. So now the descriptions of the Lord is being described by the position of the Lord. What is the position of the Lord? He is Satya Vratam. He is never deviating from the vows that he has given. When he has said Paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya chatushkritam, dharma samstharpanarthaya, sambhavami yuge yuge, he does it. Yeah? And throughout the Bhagavad Gita, it is so wonderful. in so many ways, he keeps giving a satyam or a vow, but we still don't have faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He says towards the end of the 18th chapter, what does he say? What's the famous verse? Something about surrender. What is that verse? Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha. Says abandon all varieties of religion, yeah, and just surrender to me, and I give you a satyam or a promise that I will take you back to us. Manmana bhava matpakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosime. The Lord is so humble, isn't it? When will we get an iota of that humility in all of our hearts? The Lord is so humble. He says, I give you a satyam. I give you a promise. Yeah? So, but still we don't have enough faith to surrender, at least my case. Yeah? So many material desires. So he says he is Satya Vratam. And then he says Satya Param. He is the supreme absolute truth. Three Satyam. What does that mean? Before manifestation of the material world, during the maintenance of the material world, and after the annihilation of the material world, he is the supreme cause of creation, maintenance, and annihilation. But even after the annihilation, he is always present, right? Then Satyasya Yonik, which means he is the cause and the factor which creates and maintains and annihilates this entire universe. So, what is the first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam? It says Satyam Param Dhimahi. Yeah, that's how it starts. So this is explaining the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How do you understand this high philosophical truth, which is completely beyond our tiny minds and intelligence to even think how can we accept this, and the process is given in the 18th chapter. In this particular, chapter, Srila Prabhupada quotes umpteen number of slokas from the Bhagavad Gita. And if we quote all of them, then we can have a fasting day and we can feast on Krishna consciousness today. So we will not do that. So many verses Srila Prabhupada quotes in this chapter, slokas from the Bhagavad Gita, the relevant ones, 1855. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yas chasmi tatvataha tato mam tatvato nyatva vishate tadanantaram. So only devotional service, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. How do you understand the infinite, supreme, absolute truth through any other process? It doesn't even appear logical to all of us, right, Prabhu? So, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Only through the process of bhakti can we understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Vishate tat anantaram. Only then we can enter the kingdom of God. Srila Prabhupada writes that way. Yeah. So further he explains that, in the 27th sloka, that there are two types of enjoyment and caused by the three modes of material nature which entangles all of us. So we get entangled in the material enjoyment, but besides this there are two birds also who are residing, and we hardly care for those two birds, right? What are those two birds? One is the Atma and the Paramatma. So the Atma is the soul and the super soul is Paramatma, which is the efficient cause of the material world to be understood. Yeah, and the creation, maintenance, and annihilation we discussed. Popularly, we feel that Lord Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the maintainer, and Lord Shiva is the annihilator, right? They have been given their dedicated responsibilities by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, but the real cause and the person who makes things work is Lord Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's like we are blind to this. Is there any school that your children are going to where we are taught that, I'm not this body, I'm spirit, soul? Yeah. So they are just encouraging our children to use our bodies for more and more sense gratification. So therefore, this is spiritual, this thing, the real purpose and vision of spiritual knowledge is to actually teach us about the Atma and the Paramatma. But because of the teachings and because of our very material birth and our nature that we carry in Kali Yuga, we are completely covered from this. And it's like the cloud is covered by the sun. It does not mean that the sun does not exist. The sun is there, but the clouds cover us. And therefore, it's like a curtain which stops people from realizing who is that we are spirit, soul, and we are not this body. Yeah. So, and there is a Paramatma residing within us, and we continuously, one second. So, we are continuously being covered by the curtain of Maya, which stops us from getting a spiritual vision. Can you imagine the mercy that Srila Prabhupada has given for all of us? He is like a spiritual essentialist. There are so many Vedas, Puranas, everything. But he gave us the essence, because there is no time to understand all the Vedas, contemplate on them, decode the information that we have got. He just said, focus on Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Bhagavad Gita is the journal which gives you the instructions of how to lead life. And how to lead life, if we know, then there is a particular, we have to have experiential learning. So Bhagavatam is the knowledge of the saints and sages who are giving us various instructions how to perform this bhakti. And then bhakti, while we are performing, must carry a particular bhavana in us, right? We should have a bhavana. So that is Chaitanya Charita Amrita. Okay? So it's a complete information, and going back home, back to Godhead. Yeah? So in the early days of Krishna consciousness, many of my relatives used to say, oh, very nice, you are doing all this, but you should read other scriptures also. You should do this also, you should do that also. Sometimes you get mesmerized, maybe I should learn. But believe me, we have met with such intellectually great personalities, yeah, and we have had conversation with them, and I do submit they are far more scholarly than myself, but never in the conversation. Srila Prabhupada has let us down. In his purports, he has given us enough information to have a decent argument with any spiritualist. Not argument, just a debate or a discussion. Forget argument. You're not interested in arguments. But never has Srila Prabhupada ever let us down. Isn't that an experience, Prabhu? So, a devotee's curtain has to be removed. How can we remove that? Brahma himself explains. What is that? Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam sham suntara achintya gunaswarupam govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajam. So we should have an eye of devotion or vision of devotion which is tinged by the salve of love. That is the method of realizing who is, what is Krishna, who is Krishna, and the only way is Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. So they also confirm in the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, O Lord, you are full of knowledge, good fortune, you are transcendental to the material creation. And the only way is to surrender and accept Krishna. So that was the first section, giving us knowledge on the position of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Then the prayers continue explaining the glory of taking shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, meditating and accepting the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the only way of realizing God. The opinion of the Devatas, the sages, and Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and all the other Devatas present there, this is the opinion of them. And they are being led by Lord Brahma in the prayers. Okay? So, to cross this Mrityu Samsara, the lotus feet of the Lord is like a boat. You have to use this boat to cross this Mrityu Samsara. All this to be done in the following the instructions and footsteps of the spiritual master, the sages, and the acharyas in our line. So he says that it is so easy to cross this ocean of nescience. Yeah, they are the ocean of crossing the ocean of nescience. He compares it to the hoof steps or the footsteps of a calf. How small is the calf of not the cow, but the calf? Very small, isn't it? It is so easy by just stepping on the footsteps of the calf. You can get on this boat and cross the ocean of material existence, right? So, even a small baby can do it. I think a calf's hoof steps are even smaller than a baby's footsteps. It's so easy to cross this ocean of nescience, but you have to take the shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of God. Yeah, there is subjudication and surrender here, which is the biggest challenge for everyone in the material world, which keeps us away from doing this, right? Accept oneself as surrendered completely to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It will give us the knowledge that so there are two types of perspectives in life, if we may call it. One is, I am this body, which means we do everything, we give pleasure to the body, yeah, ignoring the soul completely. So, the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, everything gives us the knowledge that we are not this body, we are spiritual souls, spirit souls. That's the first instruction that Arjuna got from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tata dehantara prapti dhiras tatra namukyati. Be dhira or steady in your Krishna consciousness, realizing that I am not this body, I am spirit soul. Okay, then the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is compared as the sunlight which removes darkness altogether. Okay, so we are, it's like we all are supposed to hold on to this boat very tightly. Yeah, and what is the boat? It is compared to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what happens when we hold on to this boat? The ocean of nescience shrinks in size, and we are able to cross the material ocean very easily. So if we keep the rope loose, a little bit of bhakti, a little bit of material enjoyment, I've done my 16 rounds, let me go and see a movie. Shah Rukh Khan is interview. I like Shah Rukh Khan so much. I'm a big fan of Shah Rukh Khan. So I'll go watch the movie. It's all spiritual. I want to see what I can gain spiritually. We know how to cover it up. Srila Prabhupada has given us wonderful knowledge to all of us. Yeah. So we can cover up any activity. We have become very intelligent people. So, but what does Bhagavad Gita recommend? In the second chapter, sloka number 41, Vyavasayatmika buddhihi ekeha kurunandana bahu shaka hi anantascha buddhaya avyavyasayana. So we have to be resolute in our purpose, yeah, and all the time remembering that the ultimate goal we all know is going back home, back to God and serving devotees and the Supreme Lord. But please recognize how pleasurable the process is. Yeah, anybody can say that I chanted 16 rounds and I'm still not happy. Yeah, all your even though we don't chant for that, even your day materially goes very peacefully. It's like I said, I'm not going to office yesterday, because I have to read. Speaking to devotees is always a challenge. So I didn't go to office. Did Krishna take care of me? Yes. Because we had a record sale in Element 3 yesterday. So that means I wasn't required. We all feel that we are required to make things happen. But we have to be vyavasayatmika buddhi, resolute in purpose, with the aim of achieving the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's lotus feet. Yeah? Anybody who is irresolute, bahu shaka hi anantascha. So there are several branches we can catch hold of, but which will only lead you to failure ultimately. Yeah? And so these are the importance of holding on to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what happens to devotees then, or rather non-devotees, not willing to take shelter of the lotus feet? That is also answered. The importance of the lotus feet. So that is also said that you will fall down ultimately. What's that verse? In the 12th chapter, which is entitled Devotional Service, Krishna is asked a direct question. He was fearing, he is so attached to the personal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he doesn't want to hear anything else than worship of the form of the Lord. He says, tell me clearly, Krishna, what is better for me to worship the avyakta or the unmanifested form of the Lord, or should I worship your personal form? Direct question, 12.1. Direct answer, 12.2, which says that only worship my form. Arjuna was very, very relieved. And then in the 5th chapter, Krishna explains the fate of the people who are attracted to this avyakta or the unmanifested form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? The unmanifested avyakta form. Everybody says that Shankaracharya is a propounder of the impersonalist philosophy. Sorry, when he did that with a purpose, but when he was about to leave the world, what did Shankaracharya want to see? The form of Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? This is recorded in the Shankarabhasya or whatever. Okay, so he had the darshan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, before leaving this world. So 12.5 explains the difficulty in performing transcendental activity by being attached to the avyakta form of the Lord. He says, Klesho adhikatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkam dehavadbir avapyate. Try to catch the punchlines here. Klesho adhikatarastesham. In the process of being attached to the avyakta form, klesho adhika. Lot of disturbances. And what is the gatir or the destination of such people who perform this? That is avyakta sakta chetasam. The avyakta hi gatir dukkam. The gati or the result is dukkam or disturbances, right? So any amount of tapasya, austerity, these jnanis perform so much of tapasya, right? So we may save ourselves living in the city of Bangalore. Tapasya is very difficult, but we don't mind not doing so much of tapasya, but focusing on chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, you are protected, and even if you fall, Krishna has promised again, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktya pranashyati. So many times Krishna makes this promise throughout the Bhagavad Gita. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktya pranashyati. And he also says the same LIC advertisement, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyam. Yeah. So, this is not told by LIC but by Krishna, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyam. I carry what you lack and I give you what you need. Important to know this. Sometimes we don't know what is our need, right? So there is a difference between wants and needs. I want this, I want this. Maybe you're wrong. Krishna knows what you need. He gives you exactly what you need if you just progress in bhakti. So the glory of surrender is very important instructions by the devatas. The position of the Lord is explained in the first few verses in the prayers. Then the glory of the surrender or shelter is explained, and then the glories of the incarnations of the Lord is explained in the last segment of the prayers by the devatas to the womb of Devaki. Okay, so we all know ultimately what is the formula. Yeah, so the whole process is this contaminated mind of ours should be annihilated only through the process of bhakti. So what that was? Okay, we'll leave that. So the Lord descends in various incarnations to release the burden of earth. Yeah, so that is the primary reason why he comes down to the material world, right? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkratam is one of the important purposes. Yeah, then they clarify that all these incarnations are not ordinary. Srijamyaham, they manifest, right? We studied how from the mind of Vasudeva, Krishna goes to the mind of Devaki, and then through the process of spiritual initiation of Devaki, Devaki gives birth to Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So they start detailing the various incarnations. You were born as a fish, a horse, a tortoise. You became Narsingadev. Yeah, that's like the favorite avatar of Srila Prabhupada. He always quotes, and not just of Prabhupada, but Narsingadev was the favorite incarnation of Krishna himself. Every day in the evening, they used to have a what do you call it, a social function or whatever, where various dance, dramas are performed. So when Narsingadev drama is played, Krishna is so happy. He starts clapping his hands, once more, once more, once more. That's how much Sri Krishna enjoys and loves his own incarnation, Narsingadev. Okay? So every incarnation has come to protect the world, and that is all your mercy. Now please show your mercy, and they pay obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then, dear Devaki, do not fear, they tell, because Krishna will protect you always. Okay? That's like an instruction to all of us. And therefore, after doing their prayers, thanks to which Krishna invented. So let's thank all the devatas. Thanks to their prayers, Krishna decided to come to the material world, and he did what he did, and we enjoy every pastime of his and celebrate his pastimes. And one of the best pastimes of the Lord and the most auspicious pastime is Krishna Janam or Janmashtami celebrations. So let us meditate on the pastimes of the Lord. Let us meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord, and get ready for the birth of Krishna on August 16th. So, are you ready? Ready means two things: surrender and service. Okay? So it's not just being ready for surrender. Surrender is the biggest challenge. Otherwise, Krishna consciousness is so easy. Yeah? You just have to do Manmanabhava, Mad Bhakto, Madhyaji, Mam Namaskaro. What's the problem? So simple. Yeah? What keeps us away is because of our unfortunate birth in this material world. We are not able to subjugate ourselves and surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, which we realize by Prabhupada's mercy as the best method for transcendental pleasure that we can acquire even in this material world, right? So let us all pray and beg for the mercy of the Devatas, the sages and the saints and the acharyas in our parampara, and request them, please establish the Dhamma of Sri Krishna in our core of our hearts, so that we may be able to serve other devotees and also serve the others who come during Janmashtami, and pray that they also get the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the acharyas and our parampara. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Yes, no time for question and answers. The authorities will chastise me. I have already gone 25 minutes above the scheduled time. Normally I reach on time, and the devotees delay the program, so I take shelter of that. You have delayed by 20 minutes, so I will delay by 20 minutes. But today there is no scope for that. I could have made a point of you didn't keep the recording ready, but even that was sorted out very soon. So,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.